So Newcastle United season is done and we've got players out on loan. I think people are forgetting that. We've got players out on loan who are probably forgotten about and people who don't get spoken about whatsoever. But in today's video we're going to be speaking about every player out on loan apart from the youngsters, because we know that they're going to stay with the club. Speak about the players, what's their future, have they got a future at Newcastle, and what's gonna happen to them. So if you could leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into it, and we'll go through all the players now. So we're going to start off on a high. Newcastle United's probably his best loan in a very, very long time. It is Minter. He has been mint, you could say, at Feyenoord in the Champions League. I think people are forgetting, younger than me, and he's been absolutely tearing it apart. So when they won the cup or something the other month, they were loving him. He's been a massive part of their season, and honestly, we've needed that bit of brilliance on the right hand side at Newcastle. I think it's one that was getting called around January, February time, being like, oh, come on, loan him back, but due to the deal, we can it. And it does look like he will be returning to Feyenoord in the next summer on loan again. I wouldn't be surprised if Feyenoord try and sign him, but he's not even kicked a football for Newcastle. He signed for Newcastle and went straight to Feyenoord, which I mean, it's a good move for him, it's a good move for his career, but it's annoying because the fact that he's been so good for them on that right hand side and we've struggled with Murphy and Albon all season. We need that bit of pace, a bit of power, a bit of quality going forward, and I think Minter gives you so much there. His contract is expiring in 2028, so you look at it from that point of view, still got years ahead of him, 4 years on his contract, looking very good, and a very, very talented player. I think we are forgetting about how good he actually has been for Feyenoord. 10 goals, 5 assists this season in 26 games. That is really, really good for Minter, and probably being the only successful loan, probably. Maybe he's one other. Newcastle with loan players has never really worked, but Minter has been on a mint start, and it's been a good start to the video. Next one to speak about is a player that I was always a fan of at Bournemouth, done really well, and I was a massive fan when he signed for Newcastle. It is Ryan Fraser. Went to Southampton, which was a bit of a surprising move. I didn't expect him to get a move to a team that is pushing for promotion like they are in the playoffs. Played against West Brom. I'm recording this way before this video actually goes live. If we have a look at Ryan Fraser's stats this season, 39 games, 6 goals, 2 assists, which isn't too bad. I think he got them goals all around the same time, but he has been playing a lot recently in the Championship. He's pretty much played every game this season, and he's done relatively okay. Not done too bad for Southampton. He's been a bit of a squad player, but he was never going to go into that team and change it, you know what I mean? They've still got some good players, and I don't know, he might be one that signs for Southampton, depending. I think if they stay in the Championship, I think it's a player that potentially could sign for Southampton. If not, he comes back to Newcastle, and we'll see from there. His contract actually expires next summer, so it's not like we can just let him go to Southampton on a free. We signed him on a free transfer as well, so it's not too much like we're going to miss out on anything. We're probably going to gain, but all the wages that we was giving him when he was sat at home doing this, because Eddie Howe felt like he fell out in love with the club, which is fair enough. He's got his loan move, seems happy, and I think we should just let him be and let him sign for Southampton if they do want to sign him. The player, when he signed for Newcastle, I thought he was going to set the world alight. I thought he was going to be right. Over the years we've struggled with this position, and we've signed someone who's young and ready to do it. Jamal Lewis, he was at Norwich City. We got him on, I think it was for about 15 million-ish. Steve Bruce signed him, and he didn't really get a kick under Eddie Howe, but under Bruce struggled at times, and then we obviously see Matt Ritchie playing more at left back and under that system. And when the takeover happened, he was on the bench for most of last season, and in the Champions League season he was on the bench pretty much every game, but didn't really get a start, didn't really get a game. And when he did play, he's not been too bad. Not too bad. Obviously, he's not set the world alight, as I say. It was that game against Burnley. It was our first win of the season in the 2021-22 season. I remember being really, really good in that game at left back, obviously. But he's went on loan to Watford, struggled. He has not done what their fans probably wanted. 36 games, 0 goals and 2 assists, which has been disappointing. You can see he's played a lot of games, but just not done enough. And I don't think Watford have had a good enough season either. In batting the Championship, but it's a funny one. Got 1 year left on his contract. I think he will be gone. I think he will leave the club, and if that's to Watford, if that's to another team, I think it will be to another team, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. A player that I absolutely loved in Newcastle, wow, honestly, back in the day, he was so solid for us, and a proper professional, and it does look like he will be leaving the club at the end of the season. Isaac Hayden, what a human, what a bloke, and honestly, a fantastic person to have at Newcastle United. Signed from Arsenal, very young. Rafa Benitez developed him really well, and went through a phase of not getting too much game time in the 17-18 season, said he wanted to leave. We got injuries in midfield with Shelvey, Kason Young, Mo Diarmi. So we left Longstaff and Hayden, and honestly that was some of the best times I've seen in recent years, and Hayden played a massive part in it. He was originally at Standard Liège, and apparently didn't get along with the manager, and apparently the manager said he had a lot of issues there, so left, came back to Newcastle, went to QPR and helped them survive, and his contract ended in 2026, and I think QPR is a good move for him. I think it's a team that's had a couple of funny years in the Championship, want to try and rebuild and build them back up to the Premier League and back in London where he's from. I think it's a no-brainer that Isaac Hayden goes back to QPR, and I think the fans like them as well. Played 17 games with them, and a good player. Honestly, on his day, Isaac Hayden's your most reliable player on that pitch. Some good memories, some amazing memories at Newcastle. It will be a shame seeing him to leave because he was being such a good servant. Didn't sign him for much either from Arsenal, and he's got so much respect for this football club, and we should give him it as well because he was a grafter in them years. So for me, Isaac Hayden will leave, but had a really good season at QPR. We're going to do these three players together because I haven't got really too much to say about them. Kel Watts, Jeff Hendrick and Harrison Ashby. I want to say now, in my eyes, it looks like Jeff Hendrick and Kel Watts will both be let go. Their contracts do end in the matter of weeks, 30th of June. I can't say that I'm staying at the club. Jeff Hendrick was signed on a free transfer. Hasn't got game time at Sheffield Wednesday. I don't think he got in their senior squad in the second half of the season. Kel Watts is a scary one. He's older than Sven Botman, and he's still getting sent on loan every season. I think he needs to settle down at a club. I think he's been at Wigan a couple of times now, so I think we just need to let him go and enjoy his career. And Harrison Ashby's currently injured. Had his loan at Swansea City. Didn't do too much. A lot of injuries under that, but under pre-season he didn't look too bad for Newcastle. Obviously, he is one for the future, you could say. He was 22 years old, signed from West Ham, but never really got a shot at Newcastle, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with Harrison Ashby, but I do expect Jeff Hendrick and Kel Watts both to leave as a free transfer. And then finally, Kual, obviously 19 years old, playing, I say playing, not playing enough in my opinion. He was at Hearts, really struggled, and then for game time, and he's playing for the worst team in Eredivisie, the bottom of the league, and I think they've probably been I think they might have been relegated now. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he's not played enough. He is injured currently, it says on here, but it's a disappointing loan from him yet again. Obviously, he played in the World Cup, nearly sent Australia, I think, to extra time against the winners Argentina, but Emi Martinez made a fantastic save in the 90th minute. I think people forget about that, but it's a funny one. We're going to protect him. He's still young. He will probably go out on loan again, but it's a bit shit because he's not getting game time when he is going out on loan. I don't know whether it's worth putting him with the under 23s and develop him that way, because clearly putting him to the Netherlands, clearly putting him to Scotland hasn't worked. So for me, I'd put him in the under 23s and develop him that way, being at Newcastle United. And there we go, boys, that is the end of this video. Loans at Newcastle United. Obviously, the only loan we've got at Newcastle is Lewis Hall, but it looks like he will be signing for the club, so I don't really want to be speaking about that too much. But that is going to be the end of the video, boys. Let me know your thoughts on the players who are out on loan currently. Do they have a future at Newcastle United? What happens with Minter? Does he go back to Feyenoord? Do we get Minter the team? We'll have to wait and see what happens. Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you all in the next one. Newcastle! Newcastle!